one of my go-to recommendations back in the day was telling people, if you could, make sure to hardwire all your devices in your house to your home network. In other words, if possible, don't rely on the Wi-Fi connection because you're going to get so much better connection if you hardwire it. Perfect case, Apple TV, or any sort of set-top streaming box, because there's nothing worse than trying to pass around, big files over the air through these home modems to be able to, wreck that experience that you have for like watching movies and things. That has changed. I would say that we're now in an era where some of the routers coming to the marketplace, and that's what we're talking about here today, this one from Titan, sorry, this one is a Titan, is router technology that has so much signal strength and such high speeds that actually using, I'm going to even go out as far as to say is using the Wi-Fi may be even faster than connecting directly to the router itself.
AJ, the one thing that a lot of people don't upgrade their routers. And if you have a router that's like 3 or 4 years old, you definitely want to make that upgrade because you're going to see a huge increase in performance. Here we're looking at the Titan by Amp Wireless. This is the AC1900. And it's a good step up if you have an old router. And the first thing you'll notice about the Titan, it has 4 antennas. Yeah. And for a couple of years there, especially around 2011, 2012, they stopped making routers with antennas. They were trying to make them aesthetically pleasing. Sure. What they learned is people don't care how it looks. They just want good Wi-Fi.
They just want good Wi-Fi.
And so the way that it works, and these are removable antennas, so you can screw them on and off. Of course, as soon as you buy it, you want to screw it on. Inside the base of this router is where all the amplification is happening. And basically that amplifies both the signals and the power of each of the signals.
Yeah, this particular modem, actually, sorry, this particular router has 16 amplifiers in it, built into it. And as Andy mentioned, the antennas really act as gain. So they're basically extending or making that, the amplification process, they're really directing it through these antennas.
Yes, and they have different antennas for the 2.4 gigahertz signal and also the 5 gigahertz signal. So it's called the AC1900, and that really tells you about how much download speeds you can get. You're going to get 600 megabits per second on the 2.4 gigahertz and about 1,300 megabits per second on the 5 gigahertz.
Smoking fast.
If you do the math, that's where you get the 1900, which tells you how much total down you get on this particular router.
And I guess one of the things to mention is we have seen some really high-end routers in the marketplace that actually put the amplifiers in the antennas themselves.
That's right.
Which is a net benefit, I think. Yes. But you're going to pay more for that. So still being in a sort of consumer-based router for the home, this thing kicks butt. And I can even tell from the design of it, they're sort of targeting that sort of really techie and almost even gamer type market.
Now, if we just turn it around, you'll see that it does have your typical Ethernet ports. And as AJ mentioned in the beginning, if you have the option to connect this directly to your streaming player, definitely do it. But if not, you're still going to have a good enough Wi-Fi signal for you to not have any kind of buffering issues. You also have a USB port here, and you can connect a printer if you want to make it Wi-Fi connected across your network. Sure. And lastly, a WPS button. This is Wi-Fi Protective Setup. This helps you connect different devices to your Wi-Fi network. So all around, good investment to make if you have an old router.
And one last thing I have to say, looking at the back of it, it looks like a computer, and in a lot of ways it really is. This has a dual-core processor built into it, and it has 128 megabytes of DDR3 memory. This thing is built to do one job, and that's deliver an excellent Wi-Fi experience to your home or your small office, and definitely something we're considering if you're finding you have a lot of dead spots or it won't go as far in the house as you want it to currently.